Assalamualaikum. Hello everyone. I'm Hana from Communication Science 2020 and today I'm going to explain to you about one of my assignments. Previously I've recorded one for the qualitative, so this one is quantitative research or quantitative mini thesis. This one's title is The Impact of Effective and Adaptive Communication on Healthy Work Environment in FMCG Company During the Pandemic. Again, first of all, this mini thesis or research from the bottom of my heart, I would like to say that it's still poorly written due to the narrow range of time in the making. Therefore, I would like to apologize in advance and as well inform the viewers here that it will surely be revised as soon as possible. Despite the lack of the materials, insight, and the understandings, I still hope that this research can still provide some fresh and fun package information that is beneficial for others. Okay, I'm going to share the screen to show you my mini thesis for the quantitative one. Okay, as you can see here, this is the cover and not so different than the one I showed you in the qualitative session. Okay, let's start our journey with the first chapter, introduction. Undoubtedly, it is known that COVID-19 disease has changed many of the world system. People were forced to adapt to the current situation. The wheel of life to keep on spinning. As in corporate world, it has been more than 2 years after their workers have to start working from home. Surely new challenges appear since most of the adult workers have to deal with the double role. They encountered a confusion zone between the urge to be a professional worker and to be a different role at home, such as parents. Many issues about worker or employed parents started to appear. From the survey on 1,000 parents in the United States of America, it was discovered that many parents believe being a parent has been a disruption towards them in work. Most of them stated that even though some schools started to reopen, their children will still have to take their lessons virtually. It was also discovered that 4 out of 10 parents stated that they have less work security because of the pandemic. This can add another count to penalize and unemployed mothers. While everybody seems to be in an unprofessional situation in general, the mothers have it the most because expected to disproportionately face household responsibility and nurturity. In this study, we will be more focused on the effective and adaptive communication within the corporate itself. Currently, flexibility is the most seek convenience among the workers based on current research from Future Forum, who did a survey for more than 10,000 workers all over the world, found that around 94% people are in need of flexible work schedule. Flexibility ranks second after compensation in terms of workplace satisfaction. Company with the highest rank in work-life balance is a company that implemented flexible work, whether through time, remote working, personal time off, or any other allowances. Research focus in work from home style has been an obstacle to companies from many sectors, unexceptionally FMCG company. FMCG company sells following products quickly and at relatively low cost. Non-durable household goods such as packaged foods, beverages, toiletries, candies, cosmetics, over-the-counter drugs, dry goods, and other consumables. While the acronym FMCG is quite self-explanatory, we can also define it by knowing what type of product they sell. From then on, the researcher viewed FMCG company as a never-ending spinning wheel. Whether it is pandemic or not, the corporate system must keep on working since they provide almost all of the daily needs. According to issue above, in manifesting a healthy work environment that emphasizes flexibility, especially during the pandemic, effective and adaptive communication is needed. The researcher views effective and adaptive communication as a combination of various elements such as good flow of corporate communication, leadership style, and beneficial culture. Therefore, the problem formulation in this research is how is the effective and adaptive communication for healthy work environment in FMCG company during the pandemic. So we are going to study more about the effect of the effective and adaptive communication on healthy work environment in FMCG company during the pandemic. The purpose of the research is to know the availability of corporate communication, leadership style, and beneficial culture on healthy work environment in FMCG company during the pandemic, and to understand how much they implement flexibility to get into work-life balance. For the theoretical benefits, researchers hope that this research can give contribution in literature and theoretical study for communication science students, especially in Universitas Negeri Jakarta or State University of Jakarta. And also the researcher hope that this research can provide the materials and references needed for the academics. Next benefits is practical. Researcher hope that this research can provide explanation of effective and adaptive communication for healthy work environment in FMCG company during the pandemic. Researcher also hope that this research can give a good illustration and explanation of effective and adaptive communication, especially in FMCG industry that is currently challenged by the pandemic, so that the other party who had been held back by the situation can eventually revive itself. All right. For the second chapter, there's a literature review about the previous researches. It is mostly about the relation and also the impact of variable one, effective and adaptive communication, to variable X and variable Y. The variable Y is healthy work environment. So after finding several researchers that is considered relevant to these studies, we would like to know more about the concept. Okay, so before that, in this session of quantitative research, I will explain more about a book that I will mention it later, because this book will be the guidance for me to make the questionnaire also. So I really hope that it could help. And I've been providing some pictures so that we can discuss about more about the book materials in this session. Okay, so for the concept, effective and adaptive communication. Effective communication focuses on the process involved in business communication and concentrates on ways in which you can become more effective by becoming more knowledgeable and skilled as a communicator. All forms of communication, whether writing, listening, or speaking, are the end products of a process that begins with critical thinking. Effective communication includes topics such as overcoming barriers, planning approach, matching message, choosing the right medium, developing visuals for currently and confidently delivering message, listening actively, understanding managing process, persuading and negotiating. The researcher added adaptive after effective due to the current situation, COVID-19 pandemic. The big change in communication system can be seen obviously by the medium. Zoom or Google Meet was not a familiar app with commonness. Even if the corporate workers might already be familiar with virtual meeting app like WebEx, the students and the other workers have not really used it before. Long before that, people know about Skype as the virtual meeting app to keep in touch with a family from across the sea, until it started to get replaced by a video call feature on social media like WhatsApp. In the end, Zoom and Google Meet came around and stayed to accompany everyone's business because it can provide virtual rooms with much more slots for the participants, or even more people. This research explored more about the changes in corporate communication process, especially in the FMCG industry. The study is about the company's ability to be flexible and still manage to manifest a healthy work environment for the workers so nobody gets mentally exhausted by the situation. Okay, for the corporate communication concept, the previous research had done a study about the effect of effective communication on organizational performance by randomly selected 3 consultancy companies in Lusaka as the target population. The total number of employees from all the companies was 138 in total. Sampling technique was used for each company to have a wide variety of classes of employees represented as respondents to the study. This was sufficient to help generalize the findings. The study sought to identify the major factors affecting effective communication based on the system theory, and it was noted that the different management styles and conflict in the workplace were key issues. The study revealed that there is a positive relationship between the channel of communication used and effective communication. Also, the study did confirm that effective communication has a positive effect on organizational performance. However, there was no relationship between management and channel of communication use. The data from question also revealed that different communication style from management are the biggest barrier to effective communication. Okay, so this is my favorite part because we are going to talk about this book. This book was translated into Bahasa, so the one I got is in Bahasa Indonesia. But yeah, the researcher preferred to examine more about effective corporate communication process using a book by Paul Wood titled "How to Do Great Work Without Being an." This research will be guided by perspectives of communication in terms of erasing egomania, meeting, pitching, project scope, briefing, feedback, presentation, and long work hour. So in bahasa, the title is Jangan Bekerja untuk Orang Menyebalkan. We're going to talk more about this because this book also provides some sort of questions about how can we determine or decide that the briefing is good enough, the pitching have to be done or cannot be done, how to decide the project scopes, cost, whether it's agile or the fixed cost, and then also how to actually give feedback in a right way, because feedback will not gonna be a fun session for everyone. It's just have to be honest and stuff. And also we're going to talk about presentation and how to deliver a good presentation so that it can be comprehended coherently, and people seems to get what our meaning is. So it's like similaring the meaning between meaning. And also we're going to talk about the long work hour. All of this is very close to what we call as a work environment. So these integrated elements will help us to reach what we want as a healthy work environment. Okay, so I'm going to share another screen. All right, so I'm going to explain about firstly about the bad habit in creative industry. So this book is indeed about the creative industry, but I find some of the things, the methods that can be used uh, in universal sector or more general. So I compiled some things that can be used generally, whether it's for creative industry or just for like FMCG company. The first one is about bad habit. So in creative industry, it is identical with long work hour and so much ego, and then the bad treatment for the juniors, and also the chaotic process of working. So all of this was justified by the reason that it has to be done, because it must be done because that is the best thing to do to get a masterpiece, to get a very unique type of work. And of course, that is not the real way, the right way to get that into that idea, because not only it is a bad thing to do to the workers, it's also just not efficient for the long-term relation, and also, yeah, the long-term relation between the workers and also for the clients itself. So we want to know more about what is the right habit, right? This is the right habit. We need briefing for each new project. Yeah, this is the bold statement. Without briefing, it will be nothing, and it will be explained later on in details about briefing and the importance of briefing. So it is a needed thing to do. Whenever the new project come out, whether it's big or small changes, or big or small projects, we always need a briefing in each project. And we would like to avoid the long work hour, because it's their rights to have a proper time to rest. And for the presentation to the client, all of the team that manage the work have to attend the meeting with the client, especially in presentation. And then, oh, this one is very good, because I don't think that some of the companies have done this before, but some of the others started to, reply to the um, applying applicant letter for the candidates. So whether they want to reject the candidate or not, it's their right. But also they tend to give feedbacks about what can be done, so that uh, what their what is their leg, so that they can be in that position right now. So the candidates can easily take the feedbacks and improve themselves for in the next upcoming time. Okay, this is just simply a good treatment for the interns, since they can be paid um, the energy, time, and work of mine can be paid properly. And then, okay, the last one is, I remembered. Oh, they're uh, giving every credits to each team member for the appreciation of their pieces. Giving credits and appreciation is very important for someone's growth. It can boost and encourage the motivation to keep on being a better person. Okay, so this is also uh, the conception of a bad culture in the company. Briefing, no, the team is supposed to already know what has to be done. This is what it means in English. So it's a very ignorant statement, because with briefing, even if it's taking some of our time that is supposedly uh, can be spent to do the work, briefing is so much more important, because in briefing we can deliver every type of efficient message to really engage all of the work in one track. So if there's no briefing at all, and people just started to work on their job, thinking that it was a simple job in the beginning, and then in the middle of the process, or even moreover in the end of the process, they face or encountered a big problem, they will always regret that they haven't done the briefing before. So yeah, be careful not holding a briefing together in each new project. And then, okay, the long work hour until 11 o'clock, 20 23 o'clock if it's on PM, 11 PM, 23 o'clock at night. Okay, so the creative director tend to go all by himself or herself to be in a, to lead the presentation to the client. The thing is, the most important people that can present the pieces is the ones that, what that had been doing the work, because it's just simply what can be the most uh, insightful people to put all of the thoughts, because they done the work themselves, not the creative director, but the ones who really did the work. Okay, they also don't want to reply to the application letter from the candidates who apply to the company. And also for the people, uh, for the interns, they will not pay it. And the last is this bad creative director wants only his name, her name, to be listed in the masterpieces application. So yeah, it's kind of egoistic. So the next thing we can talk about is, are we an annoying person? So that's the soft terms for an actual. Are we an annoying person? This is a close-ended question, actually. So that's why I really like to take a walk into this uh, type of squares. So we can start from, who am I? Are we a creative worker or a manager? If we are a creative worker, we can choose the conception of ourselves. Are we a good or human half Lord or God? So if we think that we are a good person, then we can choose to another level. Let me zoom it out. Oh, okay. So if the client claim, if we are a good person, if the client claim our uh, other pieces of people's pieces to be our pieces, we will respond it with, okay. If we responded by correcting their statements and telling them the truth about who made the pieces, or the, yeah, who made the work, then we are not an annoying person, because yeah, we just open, we are honest, so that people will find ourselves as a fun person. Congratulations. But if we If other people told that the people's pieces is our piece, and then we just let them be, let them think that it was us who who did the job, then we are annoying person level 2. We are egoistic because we don't think that other team member has the right to be a success. And if we didn't correct their statement to say that um, that is not our piece, then we're gonna be an annoying person level 3. Also, this written that we have to bring this book back to the seller because we're helpless. Okay, so this is an interesting concept for me. Okay, that's in terms of the whether we can give credit to the people who actually did the job. And the other classification is about the way we give feedbacks, whether it's on time or just whenever we like it. So yeah, just follow the lines to actually realize whether we are a good person or a bad one. So if we are cannot give the right feedbacks in on time, we're going to be an annoying person level 1. We're, we are annoying because we are less organized. So make sure to appreciate other people's time also. Make sure to consider the duration of their time. So if we give the feedbacks early or just predictably for them, then it will make their work easier. All right, I think that's all for exploring whether we are a annoying person or not. We are going to move into egomania types. Okay, for the egomania types, this is interesting. The type is artistic director who's always over supervising, overlooking our work because it's just felt weird because it will feel like they don't trust us, they don't believe in us doing our work, and it will be stressful. And also there is a designer that is anti deadline. Okay, this is the worst because of the never ending working hours, because due to the confusion of the deadlines, it would be pretty chaotic if we don't really hope to try to give the deadlines, because deadline is supposed to arrange the division or teamworks into one way, so the process is in line together at the same time. And then there's a creative director who likes to steal the team's credit, and also the account management person that is just delivering the customers or clients need without trying to persuade them or negotiate them about uh, the backgrounds of the other team's work, because yeah, needs lots of communication between the account management and the clients, and also the team that is working behind the piece. And then ada And then there is um, client that is too demanding. So we will feel like we are working with the designer itself. So yeah, I guess they don't really need our work. And then next there is a CEO that is barely on in the office. Okay, that is so. You know, how can we uh, ask for feedbacks, or yeah, is there someone else to rely on in the office if the CEO is not available? What will happen next? And then we're going to see the thoughts of the egomania. First is okay, this is about the hairstyle, and then they will feel like they are the hero in the modern era, and then also stealing other people's idea again, and also um, wanting to lead every type of presentation of other people's idea, and also that's all. The other is just a additional compliments for this egomania. We're going to talk about the meeting. So in meeting, we can start from the meeting topic, right? Okay, I would like to tell you a story in this Paul Wood's book also, because the people, the egomania that goes into a meeting tends to just talk about how competent they can be, and whatever the work they made got an award and this and that. So they spend the rest of the meeting just to talk about themselves, just to show off, just to flex about their achievements, instead of just really taking the meeting for the very necessary situation, such as yeah, just talking about the work. But instead of talking about the work, they will more likely to talk about themselves. So yeah, that is exhausting. When is the meeting needed? So we can take a look at this conception. We can start from the meeting topic, whether it's briefing or feedbacks or presentation or management or just unnecessary topics or just chill topics. So if it's briefing, right? Briefing, then make the meeting as short as possible. Short, but full of information, and just as effective as possible, not with other type of unnecessary information. Just make it fast. For the feedbacks meeting, if it's more than just one person, we can have the meeting just the same, as short as possible, as coherent as possible. And if it's not more than one person, please try to get in touch via email if you can do that. If you have tried to do that and then got in, you still get the need to hold a meeting, then okay, you can also do the brief meeting, brief meeting. And then if you have tried to do it via email, and then it depends on the urgency. If it's urgent, okay, then you can email it or directly talk to that one person to give the feedbacks, because we can just waste somebody else's time with unnecessary conversations. But if it's not urgent, then just take the email. Don't hold the meeting. Don't hold the meeting. So meeting is just for urgency. For the presentation is also the same. Hold the meeting as short as possible, but for management, it's also the same with management. Whether the purpose of the management meeting is for solving the problem or updating the status or just general planning. But in the end, for the chill topics, please just not hold the meeting for the chill topics. It's just very unnecessary, just wasting somebody else's time. Okay, so the next we are going to talk about the meeting invitation. Okay, this is also important. Make it as obvious as possible and easy to understand. This is the time, the date, the days, and also the title of, the subject of the meeting. This one is discussion for the logo design, brand logo design XXX, according to the feedbacks from the client. The purpose is to decide the ways that will be the ways that will be take related to the logo design creation. And for the place, uh, just put the place as bold as possible, like the room, the numbers. If there's any specific details, please just put it in. And for the attendance, please be obvious, just for the necessary people. Give them option to not attending the meeting or attend the meeting. I've seen this before on Outlook. It's an application like Gmail from Microsoft, so it's quite efficient for inviting people to the meeting. There's an option for optional people that can attend the meeting, but if they don't want to, it's all right. But also there's a required option. So if the people is required to attend a meeting, their status is gonna be required to attend a meeting. Okay, so there are things that are unnecessary to bring into the meeting room, such as ego. Just leave our ego at home, at anywhere, not near the meeting room. And of course, opinion without fundamental or without some just opinions without any logical thinking. So don't bring them to the meeting. And then of course pets, and then the goods that are relevant with the meeting discussions. Okay. The next is people that is not supposedly to be in a meeting. And of course, next is any type of distraction. Don't bring foods or beverages if it's not needed. Okay, next is how to behave in a meeting. Please make the purpose as obvious, and then for the meeting time have to be human, not very long, and just brief or brief, please help. And then tell them previously what needs to be prepared, or is there anything that they have to bring to the meeting room. And then when explaining something, please give the example of the visual. And then don't act like you know everything and interrupt every speakers or other participants, and try to avoid monologue, especially if you think that you're the smartest in the room, because you're not. And then don't try to just play around and act recklessly in the meeting room. And then make sure that every participant can understand every concrete steps, next concrete steps that have they have to take, and then send a summarized or mom minutes of meeting of the minutes of meeting. All right, the next one we're going to talk about, this is just how to just like what I've previously mentioned. It's about to decide the cost of uh, a project, whether it has to be fixed or agile, or just step by step. I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like a step by step cost. So it's not once at a time delivering the money to them, sending the money, transfer the money to them, but just step by step sending. Okay, next, whether we need the briefing or not, the right briefing must be written, and then hold the briefing team, and then start working. So the direction is clear, and the last thing that they will get is the right type of award. The timeline is for start to the deadline. But if there's no briefing, this is the starter. No briefing at all, just everyone's doing their job as soon as possible. But in the middle of the process, they are lost and very lost. So many things to not know, and so many doubtful thoughts. So they have to start again, because it turns out they are wrong in catching the same understanding. And then after they start again, they experience stress. They felt so stressed because they have to do the same work twice. Not actually the same, it's a whole different work, but it's supposed to be the same work. So they have to do it twice. And yeah, they have to get more materials because the previous materials are wrong. And then in the end, it's just not clear. The product of the work is not clear, cannot even be achieved. So be careful if you don't want to hold a briefing. It's just for, yeah, it will take your time, but not as much as if you're not doing the briefing, because it will waste much more time than you think it will. So this is a comparison between a good briefing and a bad briefing. The good briefing is written, but the bad briefing is just a verbal instruction, just someone that is demanding, that just want to tell you what to do without actually having the time and energy, or just try to talk to you about how you need to get the work done, or even give example. They don't want to do all of that. They don't want to even try. They just want to give instructions. And then the good briefing is listed with points that is coherent. But the bad briefing is just lots of paragraphs, lots of writings. It is not even efficient for the people to read. It's just gonna be exhausting the reader. And then good briefing decides for the deadlines. But the bad briefing, there's no deadline. Everyone is on their own track. But it's gonna be chaotic in the end. So good luck with that if you don't really decide your deadline. So this is the good arrangement of the briefing document. The first one is there is a backgrounds of the briefing, the context of the assignment they are given, and then for the assignment itself, it's the project description. It just have to be one line, and then the targets. The targets is something that you want to achieve. It can be in points, and then the results. A list of the work results that are concrete, and then for the deadline internal and external, so it have to be listed also. And then the last one is the sources resources. This is the reference for the other file documents and etc. So how good is our feedbacks for the others? First of all, just ask yourself, um, is our feedbacks needed for them? If yes, then is it personal or not? Okay, if it's personal, twin yes or no, you can take a look at this. In the end, we will get to review whether our feedback our feedback is constructive or just not obvious or just even destructive. This is the worst one. Or if it's constructive, the good feedback is always coherent details and along with the examples. But if it's not clear, please send also the examples and the references. But if it's destructive, it's just a personal problem. And then it's not even needed, it's not even requested. So it's just, it means nothing, just to worsen the situation since it's destructive. And then next is, okay, this is the advice and forbidden things to do in presentation. So the right way is to start review, and launch it from the briefing to deadline timeline. And then this is the wrong case is by starting and then feeling chaotic and then panicking, and then there's no updates, information, and improvements. So there just tends to make it seems like they're about to reveal a big secret. So yeah, that's gonna be a bad feedback for the clients also. Cannot be done like this, like that. So okay, the next one is to review whether our work hour is over. I don't really know the word in English, but that's just the thing. First, whether the work hour is over, then how it should be. So if it's 0 to 5, it's normal. 5 to 10, it's just overworking. 10 plus, and then you should just go out of your working place right now. Okay, for the agile process. Okay, so this is the project, about the project. And this is for the quiz. Okay, this one is fun because this one is asking about what type of gift that you would give for the your coworker who work for over working hour. Whether it's a cool case, a refrigerator, I mean, and then um, chilling facilities, facility to relax in the office, free pizza, um, delicious cake, or the additional vacations, additional uh, day offs, and or the appreciations, honest appreciation. So in this book, if you can take a look at it, in the end, the right way to appreciate your coworker that works over their working hour is to give them the additional days off. So the right answer is the DE for this quiz. Okay, so that's all for the books. We're going to move to the third chapter. Wait a minute. Okay, we're going to talk about the third chapter of this quantitative mini sizes. This is kind of lacking. Okay, in this research, before we move into the last chapter or third chapter, we're going to talk about the variable. In this research, the variable is effective and adaptive communication. The internal elements of the variable will become the research object. This variable is the guidance to explore and understand more about the flow of effective and adaptive communication for healthy work environment in FMCG company during the pandemic. So the research paradigm in this research certainly have their own assumptions depending on the form of research made. This research was made using the paradigm of post-positivism, post-positivism, which is a form of causation, according to explaining that positivism is a form of assumption, which is the cause of determining the effect or outcome. The paradigm of post-positivism plays a role in problems related to identifying and assessing the causes that influence the results. Usually, the paradigm of post-positivism takes the form of hypotheses and research statements. The purpose of post-positivism is to reduce ideas to small separate sets to test the study will examine the influence of effective and adaptive communication and healthy work environment. So for the research approach, the study entitled The Impact of Effective and Adaptive Communication on Healthy Work Environment in FMCG Company During the Pandemic using a qualitative approach. Quantitative approach. Quantitative research is a tool for testing objective theories by examining the relationships between variables. These variables can be measured, usually in instruments, so that numbered data can be measured and analyzed using statistical procedures. The final written report has a structure consisting of an introduction, literature, theory, methods, results, and discussion. Survey research methods according to the book title basic of social research, qualitative and quantitative approaches. The surveys are aspects of research method carried out by distributing questionnaires. The intended questionnaire is a statement that will be filled out by respondents who are in accordance with the target. The survey itself was created to measure how influential the variable X to Y are. In the context of a survey in the form of questionnaire, this is a survey whose content is a statement that has a choice aspect in it. In this questionnaire from survey, it's also necessary to pay attention to alternative explanations. When planning surveys and measuring variables that represent alternatives in the study, the authors used a survey in the form of questionnaire that was distributed via a Google form linked to working parents during the pandemic in FMCG company. So the population in the study was workers in FMCG company. The sample of the study was working parents from home in the positions of at least manager in FMCG company and had been working together with team during the pandemic. According to Bogie, in his book entitled Research Methods for Business, a skill building approach, that the hypothesis is an uncertain question but can be tested with the aim of getting what is expected. Hypotheses can be derived when the theories are side by side, which becomes a conceptual model, and is relational in nature. This research supports the existence of hypothesis testing to get the results obtained. In a sense, this research also supports the absence or effect of a research being tested. In simple terms, it can be notarized that a hypothesis is an aspect of a test that is carried out simply to produce a large influence of study. Can be said that the research hypothesis can taken from the study is in the form of uh, it's supposed to be a good relation and a good effect. So effective and adaptive communication has to bring a good effect to the healthy work environment because in the process and the system have elements that are maintaining the work climate itself, such as the good flow of internal communication and leadership styles, and then also the cultures that is initiated by the management of the company. So it's supposedly to be a good one. The statistical hypothesis is a provisional conjecture for the determination of sample tests in a population on the study. In the study, it focuses more on the causal hypothesis, which puts forward the formulation of the problem on the influence of independent variable predators or dependent variables response. The hypothesis in the study is that if T2 is larger than T table, then HO is rejected. But if, oh my god, the count of T is larger than the T table, then HO is rejected. But if the count of T is smaller with the T table, then HO is accepted. The data collection method is actually a method that has a form of data collection for the research under study. This data collection method, according to the book, the data collection method is divided into three, namely interviews, observation, and questionnaires, which are carried out with the intention of taking the key data to solve problems in the study. Okay, this is for the validity. According to Buggy says that validity is tests of how well an instrument is raised according to a concept organized in a study which, in essence, exists as a test of a research concept. This validity itself measures the cause and effect of a concept. However, validity itself consists of internal validity and external validity. Okay, from the data above, it can be decided that the variable value of x is 0.582 according to the saying that if the KMO, Kesame or adequacy result is above 0.5, then the x data status valid, it can be concluded that the resulting x value of 0.582 is declared valid for the variable y healthy work environment. Okay, for the case of Mayo-Ockin measure of sampling adequacy 0.803. Meanwhile, according to Buggy, it says the reliability, this is a typo again, is a consistency of elements to measure concepts and help measures a good by measure. In general, data can be expressed reliability if the data is no more than 0.60. For example, the X is effective and adaptive communication. Cronbach alpha n of item is 0.60. It can be said that the data above shows that the value of Cronbach's alpha n is resulting is 0.60. Declare reliability because the value produced is less than 0.60. Okay. For the variable y, healthy work environment, from the results of the reliability statistics test, the number of Cronbach alpha was obtained, namely 0.913, which can be said that the data tested its reliability where the resulting value is not less than 0.660. The data analysis method used in the study used univariate and bivariate. In this context, the author uses the data analysis method using univariate because they want to know what amount of data dominates the respondent's answer. After answering, and this reliability is used to measure how influential variable x is with variable y. So, as you can see, here are the statistics of test for the univariate and bivariate analysis. Okay, we reached the end of this study. I really hope that you can give me lots of feedback, critics, since there are lots of mistakes in the making of this research, this quantitative metathesis. So I would like also to thank you all viewers for your attention along the way here. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.